Hello everybody and welcome back. And this is the Sophia Zero. So, it carries a more powerful everything. It doesn't need to charge to use any of its special shots. The special weapons are much more powerful. However, because it fires the special shot with each pull of the trigger, the Sophia Zero can run out of energy very quickly. And you may want to remember that because that's going to be a plot point in the sequel. You can deselect special weapons in the menu, and I'm actually going to do that in a bit. But so, as for the last video, it seems that Jason and Eve have a kind of same sort of relationship that Toll and Rhea did in Ys Origin, in that they're both kind of racing to heroically fight for each other. It's even better in Ys Origin because it's explicit that Toll and Rhea are explicitly trying to heroically sacrifice themselves for each other, and it's only a matter of which one of them gets there first. It's not something I see done that often. So anyway, this is the final area. And we're going to have to do a lot of boss fights here. Not in the place where I'm going right now, that's just for the map. But just in general, there's something like 10 boss fights, not including the final. So this area is completely new to this version of the game, and is only accessible if you got the good ending by collecting all of the power-ups for the Sophia 3. I usually die at least once in this area, not to bosses, but just to the general hurtiness of Area 9. You'll see why the position of my continued existence is so precarious later on. Okay, we blew up the Mother Brain. What's next in the boss roster? 2 of them. Oh, okay. By the way, you can't actually kill them separately. They only both die once the meter has been depleted. So you have to fight 2 of these things at once for the entire fight. I lost my wave gun. But it's still no problem. 2 of an easy boss only makes things moderately tougher. There aren't really extensive top-down sections in this area, they're just a bunch of boss fights. So there's not much to say about these. The thing about these refights is that, apart from your life meter, your capabilities haven't really increased that much since the first time you fought all these enemies and bosses. So you're still expected to know how to do things. You can't just blast your way through all these things real easy, or at least not any easier than they might have been last time. And we take this little shortcut back to the tank. Yeah, there's no way to get to that door without dismounting. Trust me, I've tried and it can't be done, you can't do it. So, let's take a look at our map. Well, okay, deactivate that so we're stuck with our normal gun. And then I remembered there's this place. Yeah, we're going back to the beginning because one of the places we have to go in order to open up the path to the true final boss is actually to the left of where we started this area. It's an old trick, but it checks out. I can't remember for sure, but it feels like something that Shovel Knight had done at least once. Okay, easily taken care of. Yeah, it's a mishmash of stuff from previous areas in the game. But since you already know how to deal with these kinds of obstacles, it shouldn't be a problem, right? Oh yes, you have to use the laser here. There's no other way through this area without it. This is one of the reasons you're only allowed to come here if you've picked up all the power-ups, because there are some things in this area that are impossible if you hadn't picked up all of the weapons or whatever. So we're exactly where we need to be. Hello, sir. Been a while. Yeah, nothing has really changed about any of these bosses. You just have to fight a bunch of them in succession. Oh, didn't want to get hit there, or at any time, really. Oh, hey, I discovered the quick change menu. Neat. Like, for the first time, I didn't know that was actually a thing you could do. It would have been nice to have learned that much earlier in the game, but it's good to know that it's there. Yeah, it's good to keep a healthy distance from this sort of thing. No, well, this is a problem. Yeah, even with energy guard, there are just some bosses that can hit too fast for you to really recover it. Okay, everything I've said about this boss before still matters. Whoops. Well... that's it for him, again. Okay, so to clear the path to the final boss, you need 3 keys, and each one of these is held in a separate boss-filled dungeon. So now we actually get to head right again. Yeah, I know it's a bit convenient for there to just be a spare tank hanging around, but we're gonna get some answers about that, don't worry. Now, all of these dungeons so far have been pretty easy to get to, but the last one is positively nerve-wracking. Hello, first boss. Been a while. I see you're not any harder. And this guy's done. You were never very difficult. I don't really mind this version of the game being so much easier because, let's face it, how many people who own Blaster Master were actually ever able to finish the game? Like, even in the days where your ability to buy new games on your own was limited, so you had to make the most out of the games that you had, how many people were actually able to, just get in there and do it? And this time is about the same as last time when you actually got to see its attacks. I'm going to claim that I did that intentionally and insist on it until I die, basically. So, I will be doing the entirety of Area 9 in one go because, let's face it, it's not going to be much longer than some of my Memories of Celceta videos, and there was no reason to split it up. There was no easy way to do it either, and I kind of forgot to actually fire the guns. Whoops. Well, that's a mistake I won't make again. I need to look at a Blaster Master 1 boss video to see what was actually in that game. Well, this guy's almost down anyway, so it doesn't matter if he was in the original or not. Okay, just head over here. And that's it for you, sir. I'll just be taking this. And I need just one more. And hope that I can get there without messing anything up. Yeah, the thing about the Sophia Zero is that it is definitely more powerful than the original, because you're not fighting weakened versions of enemies you fought in previous areas. They're still at full strength. Yeah, that's the reminder to go back and check to the left of the starting area. Let's see, can I take all those blocks? No, I can't. Nope. And that's when I remember I still had this. Mobility options, people! So I am going to navigate through this by the stupidest way possible. Yep, that's about right. Okay, by the way, that door up there, that only appears if you have the receiver on, so if you turned it off at any point, you're not going to be able to get in there. Okay, we do not need to be here yet, because we do not have all the keys. We don't need that active right now. Okay, this upcoming room is difficult. We need to get up to this ladder here, and we need to do it in the scariest way possible. First thing that's going to happen is that I'm going to clear out all of the enemies up here, just to eliminate any distractions. I don't actually really need to do it, but it's better to do it than not. Okay, so now I need to make some very, very dangerous jumps. Do a little swim up here. Okay, so now I need to jump from here and onto that ladder. And you kind of guessed what's going to happen if I miss. I think this is the only time I've made it up to this dungeon without actually dying. Because for some reason, grabbing onto ladders in Blaster Master Zero is a bit finicky. Okay, Krabby over here is not at all different. All of these are just the regular bosses. Okay, let's see where I need to be. Yeah, when thinking about Blaster Master versus Metafight, I think it really is just the unabashed strangeness of the English version's plot that allowed Blaster Master to persist in the consciousness for so long. Because I can think of very few NES games that are as much of a cult hit as the original Blaster Master was. I mean, so much so that people tried to prop it up in sequels, even if they weren't made particularly well. Okay, we have the last key that we need. But there's something I wanted to take care of just to be thorough. There's still a boss there. I don't know if I can skip it, but I wanted to take care of it anyway. But this might be the game's only skippable boss if you want the true ending. But I'd rather be safe. Okay, that's one. And that takes care of that. So yeah, there's a lot to appreciate Blaster Master for, and there's a lot to not appreciate it for. But I think that's the case with a lot of the old NES platformer action games. So now we can start to head towards the final boss. There are also a bunch of tiny details about the Sophia Zero. Otherwise, like the cockpit slides open sideways instead of flips open. And how the underwater jets are like, well, actual jets instead of propellers. There are a lot of little differences that make it not just a palette-swapped Sophia 3. Quick change menu, you're actually terrible. So, there are a couple of invaders up there that I'm going to have to deal with before I head up. There we go. So, a few more jumps like these. And everything's clear. This is also a room that's fairly easy to die in, just because of the jumps. Wait a minute, is this a giant tank? Oh, wouldn't you know it, it is. And we are right in the middle of its gun barrel. This is the shell that the mutant core built to protect itself. A copy of a metal attacker. I think I'd better grab these life ups. I don't know how much damage that thing does, and I am not about to find out. Okay, easy enough. Looks like we're on the right track. Take care of all of these little enemies over here. And same here. Well, here goes. Oh! Oh! And Eve is still in that thing. Invem Metal Attacker. Okay, the Invem was the name of the invaders in Meta Fight. So note that we are not doing damage to it. However, any damage we do manage to do to it here, we're doing very little, will be persistent later. For now, however, we're going to have to escape. So we have to go back through the area we just passed through, and we will be chased by the Sophia 3. It will also be constantly shooting at us. Yeah, we've taken a hit, but it's actually not that big of a deal. Yeah, its Crusher shots will be passing through any obstacles, so you're just going to be shot at the whole way through. However, enemies can stop its shots. How about that? So now it's going to be using cannon shots on us. But we're out of here. Okay, true final boss, the Invem Sophia. It's best to use your normal weapon on this one because you do not want to run out of hover energy for this fight. You will be destroyed if that happens. So it uses the Crusher Shot, Hover, the Spark Tackle, the Laser Shot, and it will also use the Low Thunder and Shield Mines on you eventually. It has a very large number of attacks. However, you can, with enough accuracy, actually destroy the Shield Mines and gain some power-ups from it. By the way, for the second laser shot, it will always jump to your height to fire it. When you've dealt enough damage, it will start its acceleration blast, but you can still get behind it. However, it's invincible while it's firing, and if you're on the wrong side, it will basically destroy you. After you've dealt enough damage to it, you need to eject from your tank and retrieve Eve. By the way, something I wanted to show off here. Well, once my energy recovers. The Sophia Zero's Acceleration Blast looks different. And that's it for the Invem Sophia. Right, this was what Eve had been doing since we last left her off. But hey, we did it. Oh, you should be. Mutants are bad news. They just take over stuff. Yeah, Fred was a big help. So that's how we got it. Who is they? Kane Gardner and Jennifer Cornett were the protagonists of the original Meta Fight. And there's the ending screen we remember. Hey, Jason, Eve, and Fred make a good team. And that's it for Blaster Master 01. So, hearing that this game was easier than the original is actually one of the things that made me pick it up in the first place. But it's not really a bad thing considering the hellacious difficulty of the original, let's put it that way. We're not done with Blaster Master Zero yet. There is a sequel that also came out on Steam, and I think I picked these games up in, like, a bundle or something. Not like the official Humble Bundle, but, like, I bought them both together, that sort of thing. But yeah, there actually is a hard mode called Destroy Mode, which I won't be tackling because that may be beyond me and I haven't actually tested it yet. So we're just gonna leave things like this. Yeah, these credits are kinda long. I may have forgotten how long credits for modern games are, but I'm gonna let them run anyway. Because I like these really high-effort pixel games. Because even though this is basically a remake of the original Blaster Master, and to some degree the original Metafight, there was still a pretty large amount of effort actually put into making sure the game had the right look and the right feel, and the right pretty much everything else. Oh, PR. Like, you need to do PR for Blaster Master. I don't think it's sold, like, explosively well. It's not a Super Mario, but I think it's still one of the most well-known NES games, even by people who haven't really played the original. Just because of all of the odd stuff that it did compared to other games, and it's a Sunsoft game, which means it was going to have a good soundtrack anyway. Hello, Project Manager. What I need to do is look up to see if any of these were involved with the original Blaster Master at any point. I think the only thing that this credits screen is missing is the "and you" at the end that a lot of these old NES games had. But anyway, that's it for Blaster Master Zero 1, and join me again for Blaster Master Zero 2, where we take this tank into space. See you then, and goodbye.